Yeah. We are live. Yes, it's parenting o'clock. Hi. Hi. Oof. Hi, who is online? It's parenting o'clock. The first parenting o'clock in the year 2024. Yeah. Who is online with me? It's parenting o'clock. Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining me. Okay, thank you. Yes, it's another parenting o'clock. Parenting o'clock, a forum to open our eyes as parents, to help us do things differently. There is a need to consciously parent the ones we are raising, the ones God has entrusted in our care. So, tell a friend to join in. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Okay, so let's dive into our conversation for today. Yes, I'm Olabisi Ajayi, if I haven't had a chance to meet you. Olabisi Ajayi of Conscious Parenting Academy. And this is Parenting O'Clock, a platform where we discuss parenting, where we talk about parenting and what it entails. A platform that opens our eyes as parents to how to do this journey better, how to know what to do and what not to do to become an advantage to our children. So you're welcome to Parenting O'Clock. I'm so excited and as well grateful because it's the first one in the year 2024. So much to unpack on parenting journey. Okay, so let's go straight to what we have for today. We have why conscious parenting, what conscious parents do differently, what do they do differently, what makes their journey unique as a conscious parent. Okay, yeah, but before we go straight to the conversation, I just want to ask us as parents. Yes, thank you for joining me. I just want to ask us as parents, what's when you first started your journey, how was it for you? Just in one word, how was it? Were you prepared for the journey? Did you just start parenting just like myself without understanding who a child is and how their brain development works? Yes. Okay. Was overwhelming. Okay. Tasking. Yes. Mine was overwhelming. Mine was indeed tasking for me because I wasn't prepared for the journey. Let me briefly tell you a story. When I first started my journey, I just saw myself trying to control another human. I just wanted them to obey. I just wanted the kids to obey and just do things the way I want it. Unconsciously, I was just trying to raise a perfect kid. And I realized that this was causing me to make a mess on my journey. I was overreacting. When a child spills just milk or water and you see yourself reacting to why they will need to why the spill or why the mistake, which is unsafe on our journey. And I also had a mom shared with me of how she was eating a child just as early as some months, even before a year, the child clocks a year. All of these are the struggles we face as parents. Yes, because we're not prepared for the journey, we tend to react, we tend to overreact just on how because the children are growing. I was sharing in one of our course that we had last year, Teaching Yelling for Good. And I was saying most of the struggles we have is because we weren't prepared for the journey. When you first have a baby, there is this joy that overwhelms you. Everyone is happy. And even when you have to do some overnights feeding the baby, you won't complain because you're enjoying it. But you see that as time goes on, you tend to react to the child's mistake just as the child is clocking 1 or 2, or maybe you're trying to welcome another child just because your situation has changed. You see yourself overreacting to their mistakes. You see yourself overcorrecting, just trying to raise a perfect kid. And all of the struggles is not because the child has changed. It's just because the child is growing. And the child is, or what changes is that we have changed. Our situation has changed. We are not prepared for the journey. That is why we react. We tend to react to any of their mistakes. So, and I also had a doctor shared, we shared, and she said, when they wanted to start, they wanted to have a puppy, so they got the puppy and they started feeding, they started relating with the puppy, but they realized that they were having struggles on their journey just because they were not prepared on how to raise a puppy. So they knew they needed to learn. So they went they had to go for training. So while they are in for the training, they realized that they wanted to learn to train the dog, but they realized that while they were in for the training was just talking about them, what they need to know about dogs, and how to relate with dogs, how to see things from dogs' perspective. And that is what raising a child is all about. Raising a child is you're trying to understand who a child is. You're trying to understand the makeup of a child. You're trying to understand how children relate, and that is how to give the journey your best. That is how to raise a child. You don't raise a child on assumptions. You don't raise a child you don't know nothing about. When we do that, all we are trying to do is we end up trying to control a child. And when we're trying to control the child, is either we make the child withdrawn. A child you're trying to control will either resent you or resent your rules or rebel or be fearful. Or at times you raise someone that looks like you're just aggressive as you. So that is what not journeying with knowledge will do. It will only help you raise a fearful child. It will only help you raise a child that is aggressive, a child that will resent your rules, that will also want to rebel. So journeying with knowledge will help you be a conscious parent. It will help you, will keep you in position. And the progress I've enjoyed on my journey as a parent is not because the children has changed, but it's just because I'm well equipped with knowledge. I've gained some knowledge about children, and that has put me in control on how to respond to every of their reactions, every of their mistakes, because childhood is for being a child, while adulthood is for being an adult. So the children will keep being a child. It is my responsibility to stay in my position as an adult and respond to their mistakes, not just react to their mistakes. Okay, so in trying to understand why we need to parent consciously, what is our role as parents? What do we need to know about parenting? I've come to realize on this few years of my journey that parenting is about nurturing a child. It is not the control. When you're trying to control, you will make a mess of the journey. I can tell you for free. Because I was making a mess at first. So, but when you understand your role as a nurturer, you will know that it is beyond just giving birth to a child. It is raising a child. It is you understanding that you need to nurture, you need to guide, you need to help this one grow in their proper brain development. Okay, so I want us to picture having a seed. When you have a seed and you tend to plant the seed, you tend to see that when you're planting a seed, all you need to do is just to plant the seed, and you keep watering for the seed to grow, to sprout itself. When you keep going back to check what you're planting, what you've planted, you tend to see that you end up destroying the seed because you keep opening the seed up. But what you do when you plant a seed is just to plant and keep watering the seed. And as the seed sprout into whatever you've planted, you keep your role changes to maybe trimming, taking out some excesses, and doing a lot of things. That is what raising a child is all about. Our role is to picture to them, model to them what we want them to become, to teach what we want to see. It's not just assuming and expecting the child to figure out what they should know. These children aren't born with knowing what to do. They are not born with purposely saying, I want to frustrate this parent. No. They are wonderful creatures. They are an individual on their own that needs our guidance, that needs them. They need us to teach them what they need to do part-time, to model to them what they need to learn, because they are definitely going to reflect back to us what we constantly model to them, what we constantly show them. Okay, so that is our role as parents. So why do we need to consciously parent? Conscious parenting is being mindful of your thought, of your response, of your reactions per time, because you know that these children, they are watching you. They are definitely going to learn from you, because they are just born natural to the world. So they're experiencing the world. They're going to see the world from your perspective. They're going to see and relate to the world just from what you have modeled to them, what you have shown them, how you have related to them. So that is why we need to journey. We need to go on this parenting journey mindfully, thoughtfully, intentionally, because we have these ones around us, and our goal is to raise a responsible kid, not a child that will be a burden. So if truly we were trying to raise a child that is independent, that is responsible, that is resilient, we need to consciously parent these children. So why do we need to consciously parent these children? Because we are responsible for who these children turns out to become. Yes, we are largely responsible for who they turns out to become. When I found the part in the scripture that says, as an arrow in the hands of a mighty man, so are children of their youth. It changed a lot about my perspective about parenting. It helps me to realize that whatever my children is going to get to, whoever they're going to turn out to become, I am solely responsible for it. Because if a mighty man is handling an arrow, where the arrow is going to get to and how the arrow is going to land depends on the mighty man that is trying to shoot the arrow. So that means wherever my children is going to get to, wherever your children is going to get to, is dependent on how we're going to be shooting them, where we're going to be placing them, and how we're going to be, our knowledge on how to shoot the arrows. Yes, so we need to consciously parent, and you consciously parent with knowledge, not on assumptions. So because we are largely responsible for this, their outcome, their character, we need to consciously parent. We need to intentionally parent these children, because we want to raise a responsible, self-sufficient adults, because these children, we are raising them to release them into the world. We need to consciously guide them. We need to consciously nurture them and be careful of how we relate around them. At times you see yourself doing some things, maybe after eating your child, and before you know it, you see the one of your children eating the other, and you want to come in as a parent to stop the child, to stop eating. But that was what you just did, because they are definitely going to hurt. They are definitely going to do what you have modeled to them. So that is why we need to take caution. We need to be conscious, be mindful in the way we relate with our children, in the way we respond to every of their reactions, every of their mistakes. Okay, so then I've also come to realize that just when your child is, because at times children, because they are trying to have their way, they tend to maybe eat another child just because they wanted something. Those are just a normal instance that happens to human. But your response, I've come to realize that our responses is what either strengthens a wrong behavior or helps to reduce the wrong habits we are trying to curb in a child. When a child tends to be aggressive, at times maybe a child is born aggressive, or a child is trying to be in control. We have different children with their personalities. Our response as parents is what will determine if the child will continue to be aggressive, or if you're going to help develop the calm part of the child. So that is one of the reasons why we are crucial on our child's journey, on the development of their brain. We are so crucial on their journey on how to raise them to become responsible adults out there. So what else? Why do we need to consciously parent as well? Because the world has changed. Yes, the world we are raising these children has changed, and then there is a need for us to consciously parent these children. In those days when we were born, there's a need for us to If you want to learn how to go online, there's a need for you to step out of your comfort zone to learn some things on how to operate a system. But now the tech is everywhere. Even within the comfort of your home, a child knows how to operate a computer, a system. So the world has changed. The information out there is so much that you need to pay attention to your journey. You need to be the voice that will silence every other voice they are hearing outside. You need to be the one they will want to model. They want to live after, they want to emulate because of what you have modeled to them and how you've responded to them. Okay, so yes, and why also do we need to parent consciously? Because of your mental and emotional well-being. A lot is happening out there. A child you don't connect with, you tend to lose this. There is a need for you to pay attention and be present and connect with your child. Connect with your children. There's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of children out there. You hear the stories of young ones committing suicide just because their needs are not met. And this stems from frustrations. This stems from a child that needs help. So that is why we need to pay attention to our journey and help raise awesome children. Help raise a safe community. Help raise children that are responsible with their emotions. Raise them to know that the world is not bed of roses. There will be challenges on their path, and they need to be ready for what comes their way and how to overcome any challenges that comes their way. So conscious parenting is not a journey of perfection. It's a journey to be of advantage to our children, to awesomely and be of great advantage to them, to help them be responsible with their emotions, just how we are responsible with our own emotions as well. So let's dive into what conscious parents do differently. What do they do differently? Yes. Okay. The first thing I will talk about is self-awareness. Yes. Why is a conscious parent different from a typical parent? Why are they different from other parents out there? It's because the first thing I'm talking about is self-awareness. They are aware of who they are. They are aware of who they are raising. They are aware of their emotions. They know what triggers them. When I started my journey, I wasn't well equipped for this. So when things happens, I tend to push blame to the children, and I just want to control them. I just expect them to reason with the way I'm reasoning, which is not it's not possible for a child to reason as an adult. So being a conscious parent will help you to be aware of your emotions, be aware of what triggers you and how to curb it and how to respond to these children's mistakes per time, not just reacting. So self-awareness, that is what makes a conscious parent different from any other parent out there. Okay, another one I want to talk about is conscious parents, present parents. They are present to nurture their children, and not just present. I've seen scenarios of parents saying, yes, I'm always at home with my children, but when you're at home, what are you doing with your children? Are you just being at home, distracted with phones, just on social media, while your children are also having their own fun with their cartoons all day? That is not being present. You're being present to connect with them, to spend time with them. Parents, a child you don't connect with, you lose them. A child you don't connect with, you not building up for success. Our children need our connection. They need to feel loved. So when you connect with your child, you're telling them they're important. You're telling them you value them, and they feel safe, they feel secure, they're full of confidence to face the world out there. So please, parent, here speaking up for them. Yes, I'm advocating for your children. Please find time out of your busy schedule. I know you have a lot to do, but please, there's always time for everything when you're planning. So plan your schedule, work out time you spend with your children daily. They need to spend time with you. A child you spend time with, you're setting him or her for great success. You're raising the child to be responsible. You're raising the child to be to thrive. Yes, a well-connected child will feel loved, and when a child feels loved, will definitely thrive in life. Okay, so what does a conscious parent do? We've talked about self-awareness. Yes, a conscious parent is aware of who he is, he or she is as a parent, and who the children are, who he or she is raising, because each children has their individual personality. So you're aware of what triggers you, you're aware of your emotions, you're aware of who you're raising and their emotions and their personalities. So we've talked about being present as a parent. That's what makes you a conscious parent. A conscious parent are present to connect with their children. They always have time daily to connect with their children. So the other one I want to talk about is mindfulness. Yes, they are mindful of their reactions per time. When I began to seek for knowledge, it doesn't mean the children have stopped being a child. It doesn't mean they have stopped misbehaving at times, but it has just put me in control as a parent. It has equipped me with knowing what to do and how to respond to their mistakes. So mindfulness is being present and fully engaging in the moment with your children, not trying to picture, trying to worry about what tomorrow is going to be about or how the past was. Living in the moment, that's mindfulness. Living in the moment, responding to your child's reaction now, not worrying about, there's a thought that comes to your mind when a child make mistakes, or when you see your child just lie. There's this thought that comes that if you don't stop the child from lying now, it's going to continue. All of those are not true. How you respond to it now is what determines if that act is going to be strengthened or silenced. So be present with your children. Practice mindfulness at whatever it is that comes your way, whatever habits they are having now. Be present to correct it, engage with them and deal with it now. Don't worry about if the future, the thought comes. But what conscious parents do is they are mindful of what is going on with them now. They put away what has passed and deal with what they have now and focus on the future. So what other thing do conscious parents do differently? They practice empathy. Empathy is you trying to see things from your child's perspective. And just like the scenario I cited of a doctor trying to raise a dog, they were trying to fix the dog, but in the long run, they realized that they needed to see things from the dog's perspective. They needed to see who a dog is and how to relate to a dog. And that is what we need to do as parents as well. We need to begin to see things from our child's perspective. We need to begin to see who our child is, who our children is, what they need per time, and what their need is. We need to begin to empathize with them. When they do some things at times, I still face yes, because they are growing. So there are some things they will test limits. They will do some things that you want to react. But because you are a conscious parent, because you're going on this journey with knowledge, you will tend to see how to help these children. When a child is throwing tantrums, it's not because they want to frustrate you, it's because they are having a hard time. They need you to help them. They need you to be of help to them, show them how to manage their emotions and guide them through. That is what empathy is all about, seeing things from their perspective. Okay, I know you're having a hard time right now. Can we do this way? You're trying to reason things from your child's perspective, which is the goal of parenting consciously, not just the way you see it, because how your child sees things is quite different from how you're seeing it as a parent. Their brain is still growing. It takes 25 years for your brain to fully develop. So whatever your child is doing now is only telling you to help them, to guide them on how to manage their emotions, on how to be a responsible adult, be responsible with their emotions. When they're having tantrums or they're doing some things, I've come to realize that anger is also an emotion. So when they are hungry, is only calling for your help to help them out to manage their hunger. Yes. And you're going to be doing that from what you model to them, how you respond to them, not just reacting. Okay, another thing is conscious parents love unconditionally. Yes. They didn't just love their children when the children are cooperating. They love them even when they make mistakes. So what makes a conscious parent, an intentional parent, or a mindful parent different from a typical parent is because they love unconditionally. They love their children just the way they are. And that is what I also want us to understand today, that your children is different from another child out there. Your child is different from the immediate siblings because each of these children are unique, and you just need to love them the way they are, because each children is wonderfully and perfectly designed. They have a purpose they need to fulfill on this earth, and you need to accept that and love them and value them and accept them just the way they are. Okay, what other thing do conscious parents, what do they do differently? They engage in positive discipline. Rather than just reacting to a child's mistake, they tend to see things from a child's perspective and discipline positively. And what is this positive discipline? Positive discipline is when you tend to, instead of reacting to a child's mistake, you tend to see what the problem is and see how to help the child. It is you putting structure in place. It is you putting the consequence of an actions in place, allowing natural consequence to play, to just play itself. You know, at times when we raising these children, and when they make mistakes, you just want to punish them. You want them to feel the pain of making a mess. When we're trying to raise awesome children, we are trying to raise a child, a skilled child. We're trying to raise kings, gods. There is a way to discipline them. You know, all this corporal punishment, like eating a child, yelling at a child, does more good than we know. You know, there's a way it shuts down the thinking part of a child. There's a way it makes a child fearful. There's a way it makes, it does a lot of harm to the child. So, and because we know this does a lot of harm to the child, there is a need for us to slow down, take a deep breath, and help these children become responsible children. Positive discipline is in you putting down your structure, what your home is, what your home stands for, what is allowed in your home, the appropriate behavior that is allowed in your home, and teach problem-solving skills to your children. That is what discipline is all about. Discipline is not in the shouting or in the yelling or in the shaming of a child. It is in you putting structures in place. Let them know what is allowed in the home. Let them know what is expected of them. Let them know what to do part time. You know, when you don't put your child on schedules, on routines, they don't know what is expected of them. And oftentimes I see that we complain over what we haven't taught the children. We tend to react to what we have even modeled to them. So there's a need for us to pause, take a deep breath, and put structures in place in our home. Put structures in your home. Let them know what is expected of them. Let them know what you stand for as a family, and help them through. Then let them know there is a consequence for every actions. Yes, when they know that there is a consequence for every actions and you're consistent with the consequence, they will tend to adjust. You know, the goal of raising a child is not just what you want to see now, is who they are growing to become. Just like how you're nurturing a seed, it is not about how long the seed stays. It is what the seed turns out to become that counts. So it takes a lot of patience. You need to be patient as a parent, and keep teaching what you want to see. Keep showing them the right path to go. Keep putting structures and consequence in place, and be consistent with it. And before you know it, the children will become whole as you want them to be, will become responsible and resilient adults you want them to become. Okay, so what else do conscious parents do differently? Yes, we've talked about setting boundaries. Let them be clear. Set clear and consistent boundaries around the house. Let them know how to respect one another, and we've talked about that in the positive discipline. Let them know what is expected of them. Let them know talking respectfully to one another is what is allowed in the home. Let them know what's your home, your values, your rules in the home. Okay, yes. A conscious parent also prioritizes open and honest communication. They communicate with their child, with their children, not just reacting to their mistakes. Children will make mistakes the same way with adults. We make mistakes. Conscious parenting is not trying to make you perfect or trying to help you raise a perfect child. We will tend to make mistakes. We tend to make mistakes, and we will keep making mistakes. But what counts is learning from your mistakes and keep moving. So, conscious parents practice open communication, and they tend to help communicate over any problem. They create a safe space for the child to open up and discuss things with them. They listen more. Communication is listening. You listen to understand how the child feels, how to be of help to the child, not just listening to judge or listening to condemn. You listen to understand from the child's perspective and teach them problem-solving skills. This is what communication is all about. You need to, conscious parents communicate to the children what is expected of them, and also listen to the children. We need to find time daily to listen to our children. Ask them about their day. Let them feel free to share things with you as parents, and this is based on how you've related to them, how you've connect with them. If you don't connect with the child will not be free to open up to you and tell you things. So there is a need for you to be present and connect with your children. With this, you're giving room for open communication, and that's what makes a conscious parent. A conscious parent do things differently. Okay, so yes, conscious parents model great behaviors, and that's what's being conscious is. You're mindful of what you do around your child part time, whether we like it or not. We are modeling one thing or the other to them, and these children are definitely going to return back to us. They're definitely going to learn from what we are modeling, and that is why we need to be conscious of what we model part time, what we do around the children part time, and what we teach them. We need to be conscious about all of these things, because they're definitely going to emulate. They're definitely going to copy what we are doing, what we do daily. So there's a need to consciously parent these children. Yes, the final thing I want to talk about is conscious parent practice self-care. There's a need to recognize the importance of self-care. As a parent, your child needs you to be present and effective, not just present and being sick. Your children needs you to be effective as parents, so they need you in health, and that is why you need to prioritize your self-care as well. Take care of yourself. Have time to rest. Have schedules. Have times you put schedules in place even as a parent. That's part of self-care. Have the times you go online. Let there be times you read. Let there be times you rest as parents. Being on social media all day, it's not healthy even as parents. So it even takes away your time, the time you need to have with your children. So prioritize taking care of yourself. Go on, have routines, that the times you go on exercise. Just plan your schedule and take good care of yourself as parents, because the children need you healthy. Yes, okay. Conscious parents go on a lifelong learning. They continuously they keep learning. Yes, because the world keeps evolving, and that's the same way this parenting. Even as a parent, we need to keep evolving in our learning. We need to keep learning, constantly learning, reading books, reading resources, taking courses that will be of great help on our journey. There's no magic wand to parenting. There's a need for us to seek knowledge and implement what we're learning. Yes. Read books, take courses, seek for help. Yes. There's no crime in seeking for help. Seek for help. Ask questions. We're being raised with the notions that when you ask questions, it makes you look weak. Whoever asks questions gets more wiser. So please Tend to ask questions, seek for help, and keep learning. Keep learning. The world is evolving, so as we parents, we need to keep evolving to be of great advantage to our children. So that is what we have for today. Conscious parenting will help you become responsible as parents. Conscious parenting will help you raise a responsible child. Conscious parenting will help you be at rest. Will take away anxiety, depression off your journey and off your child's journey. Most of our reactions of these corporal punishments our children faces, some it sets them into depression, and some goes into the wrong habits they don't intend to go into based on how we relate to these children. So please, there is a need for us to consciously parent these children, to consciously model what we want to see, to consciously teach what we want to see as parents. So I'm so excited to be here because it's the first parenting o'clock for the year 2024. And for Nurture Smart, thank you for joining. So I'm so happy for those that were able to join. And if you're catching replay, please do well to implement. We talked about what makes a conscious parent different. They seek knowledge, they implement what they're learning, they connect well, they use positive discipline in nurturing their children. They are goal oriented. Yes, they're not just about what others are doing. They are mindful of your journey. They are mindful of how to respond to things daily, and they keep learning. They're taking care of themselves. They are conscious of what they model to their children part time. They set boundaries and put structures in place, and they are big on communication. Yes, communicate well with your children. They need to talk to you. They need to feel relaxed to talk, to tell you things. And that is how they're going to keep telling you things based on how you respond to either the first thing they've told you or how you keep responding to their concerns. If they tell you things and what you do is to judge them, they will withdraw from telling you things. So that is why we need to learn. We need to be conscious of how we relate to these children and how we listen to them and our response when we are listening. Not just listening to condemn them or judge, but listening to understand things from their perspective. Yes, and we also talked about being aware of who you are, aware of who you're raising, aware of your journey. And that is what we have for today. Your children are going to be a reflection of who you are, what you've modeled to them, and what you're showing them daily. So please, parent, I always say I'm advocating for your children. Children are not the reason why you're yelling. They're not the reason why you're eating them. They're just being a child. So it is our response to stay in our place, our position as an adult, and help these children and respond to them, not just reacting. So, parents, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate everyone in here. And those that will still be catching replay, thank you and thank you again. So, do have an amazing night rest and keep giving the journey your best. The result outweighs whatever you're going to be doing while you're raising them. The result is mind-blowing. I can tell you a few years I've journeyed with knowledge, I will tell you that it takes away stress of your journey. Even when things seems overwhelming, you're in control of whatever your child is, what comes your way as parents. So we need to keep consciously parenting these children because they are going to reflect back to us what they have learned and what they will be learning from us. There is a need for us to consciously parent our children. Thank you, the teen specialist. I appreciate you. So, and that is what we have for today. Keep parenting consciously. Do things differently this year, even as parents. Be aware of your journey. Don't compare your children. Don't measure your children's success with another child's success. Your child is unique. Every child is unique. So what conscious parents do is they are mindful of their journey. They are present with their children. They tend to respond to their children's mistakes and not react to their mistakes. They journey with knowledge. They practice empathy, seeing things from the child's perspective, and they practice unconditional love. Yes, keep loving your children. They're just being a child. There is need for you to, at some point, just like the way I likened raising a child to nurturing a seed. There is a time you need to train, and that's where the trimming, when your seed, when what you plant start growing, there is a need to trim, and that is where you train. You keep teaching what you want to see. If all you've been doing is yelling, shaming the child, eating the child, you're damaging the child. In the ditch yelling for good cause that we had, I was saying we should begin to picture eating, shaming, yelling at the child as a poison you give a child, because all of this does damage to the child. So please keep giving the journey your best, and the result will have to weigh all that you might be passing through. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. All I'm saying is just learn to respond to them. Journey with knowledge. Knowledge will help you, put you in right position, and equip you with how to respond to their mistakes. So thank you for joining me today. I appreciate everyone. So do have a beautiful night rest. Thank you.